Oh, yeah, running behind as usual, as is often the case. Forgot to go around these trees. Not clever. Anyway, ow. Yeah, forget about it. Sorry, distracting. I know. All right. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. You don't need to watch this video. Holiday. I mean, I haven't watched this whole video, but you know, just this whole argument. He keeps wanting to say that, you know, personal feelings are all personal. They don't have any meaning universally or absolutely. So if you tortured a zillion sentient creatures, it wouldn't matter. If I made a zillion clones of myself and tortured them, it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't be a stupid or bad thing to do, because it would only matter to them. Somehow that's enough of a separation. So all you have to do is them something, and there, you're off the hook. It only matters to the victims, so fuck them. It's just absolute nonsense, and he's only doing it as a rhetorical bit of nonsense to reclamate from archaic uselessness, you know, this old Kantian ethic, you know, of, you know, agreeable elitist bigotry for the win. Yeah, that's all it is. Boy, the color on this camera sucks, I think. Not sure though. We'll see how it comes out in the end. Different camera, just, yeah, the other camera's okay-ish, but, well, whatever. I have a glut of cameras, so it's not really a problem or an issue. I'm just trying to find one that's, you know, maximizes efficiencies of download time and editing and all that kind of stuff in case you want to edit. But whatever. Yeah, why is this one so green? I look incredibly green. But whatever. That happens indoors too. So I won't just belabor it. I suppose I will stop and think and then start again. And smell gasoline in the middle of the woods. But anyway, okay. Sorry, just neighbor's water heater blew up. I gotta replace that. The well's broken. I gotta fix that. It's just this stuff, you know, all this little crap getting in my way. God, really. Somebody's running a very inefficient engine somewhere. So anyway, I'll be back. So I mean, the examples are okay. It isn't rational or reasonable to think it would be not bad to create sentience in torture, like me, for example. That would be intrinsically bad. Not because it would be bad for my individual me's, but because, yes, it would be, but because the badness is intrinsic to the sensation. The sensations are bad. It doesn't matter who's having them. The sensations are bad. It doesn't matter what mechanism the sensations are being experienced in. Yeah. Alright, anyway, I'll be back. Yeah, okay, I'm back. I was just thinking, you know, it's sometimes the logic of something is seen in the illogic of all possible scenarios provided by some circumstance. So, not that I'm going to give you any examples, but you can imagine that, you know, the solution is in the white space kind of thing. And the solution to Holiday's requirement that I somehow prove that my suffering or your suffering or any sentient creature's suffering is a significant event, that it's more significant than any other event taking place anywhere near it, so to speak. A value event, let's call it, is in the implications of the alternative being true. The implications of his theory is that somehow it would be sensible or not a problem, if it were, if you could create endless sentient creatures suffering awful torment. And that would somehow not be it would be a non-event, a non-meaningful negative. So I mean, you could equate it to some stupid scenario like you make a box of Cracker Jack and accidentally, you create a zillion sentient consciousnesses, all experiencing the suffering of like smallpox or something. It's not reasonable to argue, in my opinion. It's not reasonable as a theory to say to somebody who has experienced sentience and sensation, I can't see how it's possible that could be a non-event, that event could be as meaningless as the moon making an orbit. It's not possible to make that reasonable. But I really should be able to, it's not really a dilemma. Like I said, I mean, it's clearly something you experience, but you can only explain it from experience. It's like something being hot or something. The quality is something you have to kind of know the feeling to describe the meaning. And so, I just don't know how somebody who knows what a bad feeling is could possibly argue that it's not really any different than a good feeling. I know they're different, not just to me, but to any sentient that experiences the two kinds of sensation. They all draw the same conclusion, except for Holiday, that one state good, one state bad. Not complicated. So I shouldn't have to keep kicking this stupid horse, to get on the old logical road. Yeah, I should. Anyway, until the next installment. Oh, I'm back. So I was thinking, Holiday did avoid the first couple of arguments I was just making about how, in my simplified version of this, I know that other people feel, the same conclusions I draw about my feelings apply to other people's feelings. This seems reasonable to make that logical. There's no alternative theory again. The theory that my consciousness matters, their consciousness doesn't, is a ludicrous theory on its face. But anyway, I was just saying, he did avoid that, and I guess it's an important part, because you have to kind of go with this idea that you're informed by feeling. Sensations inform you, not inform you about hot and cold and all that stuff. Of course they do that. But I mean, being conscious informs you regarding what it is to be conscious. It enlightens you on the subject. It gives you a frame of reference. It gives you context. It gives you knowledge. there we go, knowledge of what it is. And having tasted it, I know what it is. And that knowledge is fundamental to it. It's like I can't explain the knowledge without giving you the experience. It's like explaining 2 plus 2 without saying 2 plus 2, or without drawing a 2 plus a 2. How do I explain it without illustrating it? Without giving you the components of it. You can't explain anything without giving somebody the components of it, or using something analogous to it. There's nothing analogous to consciousness. That time of year is getting lovely, the colors and such. But I have a natural aversion to it. I just don't like the end of summer. That's what this color stuff means. It does perk everything up. The pond looks better. It looks a little more relaxed. But I'd rather the summer tension. Anyway. So yeah, he wants some sort of argument that can stand outside of experience. Some sort of, like somehow you have to intuitively know how to add and subtract, that you don't have to somehow learn it. And you do. You have to experience it. You have to experience things to learn things. And being conscious has taught me, okay, that there are qualitative states of consciousness. Some states quite obnoxious, and other states not so much obnoxious. Let's say that. There's bad, and then at minimum there's not bad. And that I'm certain of through experience. So, but that's all I can tell you. I can't chalk a description of conscious sensation. Not possible. I can reference it, but I can't talk it. I can't give you understanding of it with words. It just ain't gonna work. Somebody who doesn't know it doesn't know it. They can't know it until they taste it, until they play with it, until they experience it. Or something like it. They have to experience, at least have something like it to reference. And there's nothing like consciousness. Anyway, except for consciousness. But that would be silly to have to say that. So anyway, more scenic bibble babble. I'm not having a bad day, but I'm horribly stressed. I'm not horribly stressed. I'm just irritated. Yeah, I guess that's it. I'm irritated. That a nice steady plan I had that was kind of working is now going to have to get thrown out for some sort of chaos plan. I don't like that. Ugh. I don't want that. Ew. Caterpillar. Inchworm, actually. Same difference. So you can compare an inchworm to a caterpillar. Yeah, no, it really is a caterpillar, but you know, you can do that. Anyway, till next time. Such. Yeah, I'll be back. Probably. Yeah, I'd give it another try. You know, the events in the universe. Kind of sunsetting here. Yeah, so everything's an event. Everything. It happens in the universe. It just doesn't happen in one place and that's it. It's an event in the universe. You just can't separate from its universality in the sense that ultimately it did happen in this place called reality. And, you know, that seems to be the crux of the argument, is that he wishes to claim I can separate events. You know, there are real events, the ones that happen to me, and the unreal events that happen to other people. And somehow those events are different because I personally experience this event. So the mere fact that it's a personal experience rather than somebody else's experience somehow means that somehow logically I can negate their experience and count only my experience. I mean, this kind of way of looking at the universe, I mean, if you took it seriously, you know, nothing would be anything until you became it. And until you did it, it wasn't grass. The grass isn't grass unless I am grass growing. Unless I'm each one of these blades of grass don't exist. And of course they do exist. They're doing their grass thing. And the other humans are doing the human thing. Sort of is a perspective. I guess you could say that, you know, if you looked at this lawn, you know, maybe it's, technically it's a lawn of some kind. But maybe this is the whole human race in blades of grass, you know, if you calculated it out right in here. And, you know, if you did all of animal kind, you know, then you'd go all flying all over there and around, and, you know, all brains that are sentient. And they're all doing, individually, a similar thing. They're all doing the I'm a blade of grass thing. And I just don't have to be each one of those blades of grass to acknowledge that they are doing grass. And when we're alive, when humans are alive, when things with these complex brains are alive, what they're doing is experiencing. They're having sensate experiences. And from personally doing it, I can say it comes in these qualitative differences. There's experiences that are decidedly awful and horrible and bad, negative, bad, negative, bad, negative, and experiences that aren't. That are comforting, that take away bad and negative, and are therefore good. Yeah, no doubt about that, as I've personally tasted it, personally done it, and it's doing it. It's an it. I guess that's, you know, it's an it. Experiencing is an it. It's not a personal thing. It's an it thing. It is out in the world. It is out there. It's not just here. It's an it in the universe. Conscious experience. And the conscious experiences have two qualitative characteristics. There are two qualitative flavors. Negative, unnegative. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, maybe there's something. Maybe I'll play some of his video, but I don't see that. You know, it's just, I don't know how else to make the argument that experiences is what we're talking about. They do happen. Each experience doesn't have to be experienced by me for me to understand it existed as an experience, and I can label it bad or profitable. I can assess it a monetary, a qualitative, a value designation. Yeah. So, anyway, the side tree is growing quite well. It really is a funny little tree. Anyway, this place is a mess. It just that thing's just. Next couple of days are not going to be much fun. Next week isn't going to be much fun. I'm so tired. Tired of it. Tired of it. Tired of it. But I continue to persevere, put in my time. Damn it. I'm such a fool. Yeah, I should have fixed my hair. It really is getting quite nice again. Yeah, getting some of my old hair back. Yay! Anyway, yeah, garden's getting kind of pitiful. But what are you going to do? I'm going to have to salvage what there is to see about what I got to save for the winter. I got to mark stuff. There's so much to do. Never ends. Yeah. Had a rose, but it's gone. Oh, there's another bud though. Maybe we'll get another. Well, the freeze is coming. I'll wipe it out. Well, it's pretty nice though. But yeah, man, had the nicest roses. Deers just decimated them. Not the nicest, but they were they were good roses. Anyway. Trying to hit the button. Ah, okay, I'm back. One more try. Just finishing up what I do with my piece of paper. It's always something. I tell you, can never stay ahead. Always working from behind. Alright, so yeah, I'm not going to bother playing this video. It's kind of long, and it's, you know, we've been over these arguments a million times, and we should just write in sentences, I suppose. So he keeps making this difference, like there's a distinction between for me, something's bad for me, and something being bad for them. That somehow there's a difference between those two things, and there's no difference. It's a category error to make these distinctions. You know, we meaningfully fit in the same categories. He even said something about free will, which was just, you know, where's that come from? So in the clone argument, so let's say you had a perfect duplicate of yourself. You were just morphed into two of you, and then immediately you were stuck with some sort of horrible decision to make about the destruction or harm to one of you. Obviously, I mean, I'm just saying it would be a terribly dilemma, you know, which one of you, because it's basically the same person. You know, I mean, it's you. And so he says he doesn't understand that. He doesn't. He would just be selfish and say, "Oh, it's me. I'm more important than the clone." I don't see how logically you can do that without committing a category error again. So that doesn't go anywhere for me. The bottom line is, there's no. He's doing this Randian thing or something. There's no real profit, you know, in some other sentience's losses. You know, there's no. You can't win. Creating losers. You just can't do it. It's not that kind of game. It just isn't. I mean, you can pretend it is, but it just isn't. Las Vegas doesn't work. Okay, we know the house makes money. They win, so to speak, but we know the players are just stealing the money from each other. You know, one man's gain is going to be another man's pain, and there's no profit in somebody else's losses. It just isn't. Profit's got to come out of something else. So anyway, I just, you know, like I said, I've said all I can say on it. It occurs to me that it's the event of feeling that matters. It's not the individual. It doesn't matter who's doing it. I can say that over and over again, but to me it just doesn't matter. It's still an event. The event is describable as an event. A sentient being is feeling. That's all that needs to be said. It doesn't have to have a name. It doesn't have to have a personality. All that crap doesn't need to exist for it to be a meaningful event. It's meaningful because it's happening in the in the realm of sensation and feeling. And that's the only realm, that's the only category it has to fit in. It happened. That's the only category it has to fit in. It happened. Something felt. That's the only category that means anything. So anyway, I think there's just no point in going any, I don't see any point. I don't think Hoffaday is at all realistic in thinking that most people think this way, or even a tiny percentage. I don't know, what 1 in 100 people are this right-wing, randy, and insane, who think they can profit at somebody else's destruction or harm, who don't think, I mean, there's lots of, like I said, there's lots of people who might say they're worth it, you know, in terms of abusing animals or forcing animals to be subservient to them. They'll say they're worth it, but at least they'll concede that they're worth something. They're worth some kind of, some event is taking place. They're not going to just pretend there's no event. It's an event, okay, when sentient, feeling things suffer. It's an event. Falls in the category event in the universe, and when it's torturously bad, it's a significantly bad event, and there must be commensurate value produced somewhere to compensate for it, or it's not a good game. And the truth is, it's not a good game, and these people are just trying to rationalize an excuse not to accept that truth. That's all they're doing. And they're doing it in this insanely preposterous manner where they wish to negate the existence of a phenomenon for which, I mean, I personally certainly know is a significant phenomenon. No doubt about it. And there's no doubt about it either in their own minds. Like I said, if we put their nuts in the cracker, yeah, it's going to be pretty sure they'll say anything. Yo, they'll say uncle. They'll say, yes, I believe my sensations are meaningful. Yes, I believe there's a difference between horrible suffering and not suffering. They'll admit it. Jeez. Anyway, till next time. And such.